Nvidia, okay, very similar I think to Microsoft because like you can see that there's this massive gap price. Nvidia is very, very, very overpriced financially and fundamentally, but and also on technicals here you can see it's way above this moving average, so it's very bullish but could be very overpriced, and there's a lot of space to make up here between this and the moving average. You can see price gapped here. It never filled this gap, so we don't even know what fair price of Nvidia is. So nobody seems to want to buy it after 480, and now it's down to 446, and I think it might keep dropping a little bit if it breaks this area for sure, just because we don't know what fair price is, right? So if no one wants to buy it up here, it's just going to come down, come down, come down until we decide what a fair price is. Maybe fair price is 400. I don't know. Could be this area here, right at 400-ish. We don't know yet. So, but I do think it's going to keep coming down. I mean, is it a good long-term investment? Probably. I mean, I don't think they're going anywhere. Is the stock itself overvalued? Yes, but I mean, so are all of them. And price could still go above 480, but I just don't think it's going to yet based on this, rejection here, and then it's producing lower highs. So you had this high here, and then this high is lower, lower lows, lower highs. So it's bearish price action for sure. I did draw this previously just to see if this area would be good, but based on this price action, no. I mean, too bearish of a candle going in, and then this bull candle here pulling out of this zone was not good enough. So I went over that maybe a week ago as an option, but no, it does not present itself as an option. I do think it's going to break this area. I would actually be interested in shorting this, which I mean is would be a counter trend trade, but you can see that a weekly aspect this week closed and did engulf it a little bit. Yes, there's a bit of a wick here, but versus these candles where there was huge bullish candle and then very little pullback candles, big bull, since then hasn't made much progress. So this might be a little top heavy now. We might be looking for a short position. I'm not saying it's not a good buy, but I think it might go down for a little bit here. You can see on a monthly aspect, like this thing has been crazy since October. It's just went on a huge run, no pullbacks, nothing like that. So I mean, it wouldn't be crazy for this to pull back a bit, to at least 337, which would be the top here, which would be this 382 level, which is very common for price to retrace to, or even deeper retrace to 292 at this 50% level. Totally reasonable. I think that's more likely right now. Let's see how bullish it is though. Like it's way above this monthly moving average, the weekly, and the daily. So I think there's some pullback in this for sure. I'm going to look at our monthly range. This is telling me it's about $55. Last month it moved 67. Month before that was 66. Month before that was 146. Yeah, so I mean, 55 to $60 is definitely probable. I would look for a short position though. And I would say my high for the month is about 470. And then my low, let's say it was $60. You're looking at about 410 for the monthly low, which is right here, which is very reasonable, which is where these other wicks are on the daily. You can see this little area here. 410 is right below that, so definitely could head there. And I think that's a better bet than buying it. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily short this because it is a counter trend trade, but I mean you could. And I think you for the next month, for the month of August, I would say you're probably better off shorting this than buying it. If you had to do one, I would probably do that. But yeah, then I mean if price comes down to 410-ish, I'd probably consider buy then, depending on the price action, what it looks like then, but I don't think I would buy it before then. There's other areas of liquidity here that you could buy at if price keeps going lower. It depends on your trading strategy. If you're trading or you're investing, if you're investing, maybe you just want to do dollar average. So like I'll buy some now, I'll buy some at 410, I'll buy some as it goes down, because like the long-term play, it is bullish, and so I get that. You could do that as well. That's not my style, but I do understand that. I would just wait for price to come down to at least 410. 400, price likes whole numbers, so like 400 right here would be ideal, because you can see from a technical standpoint 400 held this perfect. It functioned as resistance finally broke, and then held it as support. So, and I mean 400, like, it just sounds nice. Like, I bet you there's a lot of buyers at 400 right now. So then there wasn't really any buyers at 500. There wasn't really buyers at 480. So, but I think there's buyers at 400. So I would just wait for price to come down to roughly that, and let the month play out. It's just a pullback month, which does happen. You've seen it with Microsoft. You've seen it with other companies we looked at. They just have pullback months. It's no big deal. And then we'll go from there. Once price hits 410, 400 on the month, I don't really see even a short setup. I mean, you could short this off of these previous 4-hour wicks here, but I mean, that's also iffy. I wouldn't look for a short position. I don't see one that's significant enough to risk shorting it from. As far as like an area of entry, I mean, maybe if price came back up to the previous, I mean, okay, at 470 I would short this. At 470 I would short this all day, but I don't know if price is going to come back up that high. If it does, great. Then this is your position here for the month. But if it doesn't, I mean, I don't really have anything for you yet. Then, if price comes up to 470, short it. But then also, I mean, that's another thing you got to consider. If price comes up to 470 and there's a ton of bullish momentum, then it might push through these zones. So again, you don't want to short something if there's bullish momentum behind it. So that's where everything just kind of, when you're disciplined and you have principles and you have rules for entries and exits and everything, you start conflicting with yourself, and then there's no reason to take these trades, right? If you have conflicting judgments, you don't take a trade. So if there's bullish momentum going to these zones, I'm not going to short it. That's silly. So I'm going to wait for price to come down to 410, 400. Make sure I see the bulls come back into the market. Make sure I see higher highs, higher lows on the shorter time frames, the 30-minute, the 1 hour, and then I'll look for a buy then, and that'll probably be next month. So that's my take on Nvidia. Forbes is ranking it as number, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Forbes is ranking it as number 9 on, for the top companies to invest in for tech and AI for 2023.